Welcome to the Mini Film Shots channel. Today, we'll be discussing the summary of the 2015 film Selfless, which falls under the action, mystery, and sci-fi categories. Damian is a successful businessman and billionaire who, due to being a workaholic during his daughter's childhood, has had issues with her. He has contracted a fatal illness and only has 6 months to live. The successful billionaire is spending his last days. While dining with his best friend Martin, he mentions his condition. Martin suggests that Damian should talk to his daughter about his illness, which might help mend their relationship. Damian refuses because he does not believe his daughter would forgive him. Before leaving, Damian asks Martin if he has ever heard of something called skin shifting. Martin is surprised and asks if it's like a snake. Damian dismisses it as not important and leaves. He then pulls out a business card from a company called Phoenix Biogenetics. He recalls a secret meeting he had with the company's owner, Albright. Damian had asked Albright how much the procedure would cost. Albright had responded that skin shifting is a special thing. Phoenix Biogenetics offers newly designed bodies to dying privileged clients. This process is called skin shifting. Damian asks Albright why their work is still illegal. Albright says Damian is asking the wrong question. The right question would be whether. Despite all his money and achievements, he can feel immortal. Reviewing these memories, Damian has not decided whether to accept Albright's offer. He goes to see his daughter Claire. However, she politely turns him away. Disappointed by his issues with his daughter, Damian begins researching Phoenix Biogenetics. He learns that the procedure was developed by someone named Dr. Jensen and starts watching a video about it. In the video, Dr. Jensen promises to transfer the mind from one body to another, even if the original body dies. In short, he promises immortality with synthetic bodies. Before he can finish the video, Damian starts coughing up blood and faints. His illness has brought him to the brink of exhaustion. When he regains consciousness, he decides to call Albright and proceed with the procedure. Albright explains that if he undergoes the procedure, there will be no turning back, and his old life will end. He says that even if his loved ones pass by, he will not be able to contact them. Damian agrees. Albright asks him to come to New Orleans and create a death scenario, which must be staged in front of everyone. Damian goes to New Orleans. He invites his friend Martin for lunch. Before meeting Martin, he goes to a New Orleans cemetery and buries a metal box. During lunch, he pretends to have a heart attack. Martin calls an ambulance. The ambulance takes Damian to Phoenix Biogenetics instead of a hospital, and the skin shifting process begins. Damian is brought to a machine that resembles a device. His synthetic body is right next to him. Damian is in a panic. The machine spins with a loud noise. Lights pass in front of his eyes. The machine stops, and they remove Damian from it. Damian tells the attendant that it didn't work. The attendant asks his name. Damian tells him his name and then looks to the side. He sees his own body is dead. He is shocked and vomits. Damian's body has been transferred to the new body. Albright says that Damian will experience hallucinations for a few days and that his body will adjust. The process of adapting to Damian's new body has begun. He undergoes physical therapy. Since he cannot return to his old life, he needs to memorize a new biography. After a brief confusion and depression phase, Damian begins to like his new handsome body. However, headaches and hallucinations persist. Albright says that his mind is still adjusting to the new neural structure. He gives Damian pills to help with this adjustment. If Damian does not take these pills, he could suffer from severe migraines and hallucinations, or even die. After completing his training, Damian is dropped off at a beautiful house in New Orleans. He begins to adjust to his new body. He makes new friends and meets his neighbor Anton. Anton suggests going out in the evening. Damian agrees. Damian attracts attention with his handsome new body. He quickly adapts to the routine. He hangs out with friends, plays basketball, sleeps with beautiful women, takes his pills, goes to clubs, and starts enjoying life. However, this routine no longer makes him happy because he cannot see his daughter. One day, lost in this sadness, he forgets to take his pills and starts experiencing hallucinations again. He sees a small town with a pumpkin tower and army drills. Additionally, there is a sick little girl with her mother. The hallucinations are very realistic, and Damian thinks it is a memory. He tells Albright about the situation. Albright says it is a trick of his mind. He suggests that it might be because he misses his daughter, and that the Latin American woman he saw in his dream might have been a one-night stand in the past. Albright gives him a ticket to Hawaii to distract him and doubles the dose of his medication. However, Damian has not told Albright that the woman was of Latin origin. Growing suspicious, Damian starts searching for the Pumpkin Tower online and learns that such a tower exists in St. Louis. Seeking answers, Damian decides to go to St. Louis instead of Hawaii. Before leaving, he goes to the cemetery and retrieves the box he buried. It contains money and cards. Albright's men are following him. He escapes from them. He arrives at the pumpkin-shaped tower from his dream. He goes to the house next to the tower and looks for someone to talk to and get answers. He knocks on the door, but no one answers. He decides to enter. Inside, he sees medical bills and respiratory device parts. Most importantly, he finds a picture of the mother and daughter from his hallucinations, Madeline and Anna. Also, one of the pictures shows the body inside him. It seems that his body was not genetically designed. He is a real person. Before he can digest this truth, Madeline returns home and points a gun at him from behind. Damian tells her to calm down. Madeline starts crying in disbelief, thinking he is her dead husband. As Damian tries to explain, Albright's men arrive at the house. They knock out Madeline and incapacitate Damian. Anton, Damian's closest friend who used to play basketball with him, appears in the room. Anton works for Albright and is tasked with watching Damian. Anton tells him that he should not have come there and that what happened does not concern him. He explains that the insurance does not cover the girl's treatment and that Madeline sold her husband's body for money. He advises Damian to get in the car and leave. Damian asks what will happen to the woman. Albright's men will kill Madeline. Damian refuses to accept this and decides to save Madeline. With Mark's military reflexes helping him, he fights Albright's men. Anton decides to burn the house. Damian and Madeline manage to escape from under the house. Damian lies to Madeline and pretends to be her husband. He tells her that he agreed to do dirty work to pay for Anna's medication. They pick up Anna from school. Anna thinks Damian is her father and runs to hug him. She says she knew he was not dead. They settle into a hotel. Damian does research to learn more about Phoenix biogenetics. He discovers that Albright was Dr. Jensen's student and finds Dr. Jensen's wife's address. The next morning, he visits Mrs. Jensen. Pretending to be a student researching Dr. Jensen's work, he asks her to give him the doctor's old documents. The elderly woman has Alzheimer's. She believes Damian and starts telling him everything she knows. She reveals that Albright visited her every week. Damian realizes that Dr. Jensen used Albright's body. To get more pills, he asks Mrs. Jensen to call Albright. When Albright arrives, Damian threatens him with a gun and demands more pills. However, Albright reveals the painful truth. The more pills Damian takes, the more Mark will disappear. If he does not take the pills, Damian will die. Damian fights with Albright's men again. Madeline saves him. Damian recognizes Anton from the necklace of the man he fought with. Anton has undergone skin shifting many times. Anton asks Madeline to ask Damian for their daughter's birth dates. After a heated argument with Madeline, Damian reveals the truth. Since Albright's men want to kill Madeline, Damian has no choice but to go with her, even if he does not trust her. Damian asks his old friend Martin for help to place Anna and Madeline in a safe place. When they arrive at his friend's mansion, Damian convinces Martin he is indeed Damian by telling details only they know. Martin agrees to help and organizes their escape. Meanwhile, Damian spends a pleasant time with Anna and has a chance to talk with Madeline. Later, Damian notices something wrong at the house and they search for Anna. He knows that Martin's son died 2 years ago. They find Anna playing with a small child in the nursery. Damian realizes that Martin took the child to Phoenix Biogenetics and gave him a new body. It seems Martin has informed Albright about them. Albright's men are waiting at the door to kill them. Damian tells his friend that the little child's body was not made in a lab, it is a real person and someone else's child. Martin is shocked. He decides to really help them this time. While Martin takes Madeline and Anna to a safe place through the forest, Damian gets into a car as bait. Albright's men chase him. He has a serious traffic accident. Damian survives. He moves on to meet with Madeline and Anna. However, the person who arrives is Martin. They were caught by Albright's men on the road. Martin tells Damian that he discovered the formula for Albright's pills and can make them from scratch. However, Damian begins to question whether he should continue taking the pills since he killed Mark. He postpones this decision. His current priority is to save Anna and Madeline. He uses Martin's memories to find the location of the lab. He remembers a warehouse next to the lab. He goes to New Orleans to find this warehouse. He enters and takes out several people. He finds Albright behind a Albright's men appear and take Damian's gun. The body will now be used as a new vessel for Anton's consciousness. Before entering the machine, Damian finds a bullet and swallows it unnoticed. After the skin shifting process begins, Albright asks questions to determine if it is really Anton. After being convinced, he sends him to kill Anna and Madeline. However, Anton kills the guards instead. The bullet Damian swallowed has prevented the skin shifting process. The three escape. They eventually find the room separated by the glass wall. Damian burns Albright to death with a flamethrower. After leaving the lab, Madeline and Anna go to a safe place Martin found for them, but Damian does not come. Instead, he goes to see Claire. He pretends to be a friend of her father and says goodbye to his daughter. He expresses regret for not spending time with her as a child and tells her he is proud of her. He gives her a letter. The next thing we see is Damian waking up in a hotel room. He is confused. On the computer in front of him is a video of himself. It appears Damian is no longer in Mark's body. Damian has decided to quit the pills and return Mark's life. He later joins Anna and Madeline, who are living on a beautiful tropical island. Thus, we reach the end of this film. You can like this video to support us. Don't forget to subscribe for more content. See you in the next video. Goodbye.